Hey, so today I want to talk to you about the new financial year. So here in Australia, we have just started the new financial year on July 1st. And what I wanted to talk about today is what I hear so often, not only at this time of the year, but throughout the year is, oh, another year's passed and we're still in the same spot or worse than we were last year. Or this financial year, when this thing happens, i.e. you get more staff, material shortages is no longer, you are able to win a big job, that then everything will be better. Or I also hear often is, why is everybody else doing so much better than me? How can they have all of those things and not me when I'm doing 40, 50, 60 plus hours a day? Now, what I would love for you is to, rather than think about all those frustrations, to be able to sit here at this time of year and think, oh my gosh, what an amazing last financial year we just had. And you can rattle off that this happened and this happened and this happened. And we have, so it might be things like we were able to take holidays. We were able to pay ourselves a wage each and every week. We were able to have profit cash in the bank. It might be that you're able to grow your team if that is what you want to do. It might be that you've reduced your team if that is your focus. And the other thing that I would love to hear clients say is that I'm doing so much better this year than I did last year. I can't believe how far I've come. And all of those things are absolutely possible. But the problem I see is there's three main areas. So the first thing you need to do is you really need to decide that you want something different. Now, I know that sounds a little bit simple, and just deciding is not going to make it work, which is why I'm going to talk about the other 2 points. But we really have to decide that enough is enough, that what we are doing now is not where we want to be next year in this same time. And we also have to acknowledge that unless we do something differently, we are not miraculously going to be in a different spot to where we are now. So what I have my clients do is write a list of things, of all the things you don't want. So rather than things you do want to start with, I want you to write a list of things that you do not want. So that may be cash flow problems. It might be headaches with staff. It might be material shortages. It might be working too many hours. It could be a whole list of things. And I really want you to spend some time listing those out, because then what I want you to do is then the second step is to decide what you want. So once we've listed all the things we don't want, it's really easy to just do the opposite of what we don't want. And also have a think about how much time you want to have off, how big a team you want. Many clients that I talk to and work with have had bigger teams, and they've actually scaled back and are making more money than they ever had before, with more freedom, more choice, more time, more cash in the bank than ever before. So I really want you to think that bigger isn't always better. And there's this myth that I've got to grow. And when I grow, I'm going to be profitable. And if you've been around long enough, you will know from Profit First, obviously, we are always talking about your profit first. Even if you want to grow, profit must always come first. You cannot grow a business that isn't profitable and expect for it to magically become profitable once it grows. 99.9% of the time, it will absolutely not be profitable, and you'll be in a worse position than you are now. And the third thing I want you to think about that list is, who can help you achieve those things? Now, in my business, what I've done, so for those who don't know, I've got a bookkeeping business that I've had for over 11 years, and I've got my Profit First coaching business, which I've had for 6 years now, 5.5 years. And so what I've done over time is really thought about who can help me do the things I need to do in my business, because I want to do things really quickly and efficiently. And to be able to do that, I don't have the time to learn all the skills for every single part of my business. So for me, my focus now is really on who can help me make those changes. And I work on what I'm really good at and what my specialty is, which that means that I have a lot more fun in my business when I do that. So I want you to have a think and look at that list of things that you want to achieve. and that you want, and think about who can help you achieve them. So what I want you to look at here as well is you probably have many of the people already in your business in some shape or form that can do more in your business to help you achieve more. So starting with the basics like your bookkeeper. If you have a bookkeeper, whether that's in-house or whether it's, subcontracted out, then I really want you to have a chat with them and see what else they can be doing and have a think about. And I was having this conversation yesterday with a new client. They were saying that their bookkeeper is great, but things have kind of gone off track recently. And my task to him was to sit down and think about what wasn't working for him, to be really clear on, was it lack of communication? Was it the work wasn't being done on time? What was actually not working for him? So you can then go back to that bookkeeper and have that conversation with them and say, hey, these things aren't quite working for me, and give them the opportunity to fix it, because sometimes it's just a miscommunication and you're just on different tracks. We want to get back on track. So always go back to the specialist that you're working with a list of things that you feel need to be improved. Now, if they then choose not to make the improvements, then absolutely time to find a new person. But in more cases than not, they will be really appreciative of knowing where things are a little bit off track and given the opportunity to get back on track. I know within my bookkeeping business, I talk to my clients all the time about letting us know what you want, because otherwise we will keep doing what we're doing, which was what you wanted at a period of time before, and then you've changed what you want, but you haven't let us know. So of course there's going to be that miscommunication. Of course it's going to feel like that person isn't providing you with what you need. So please have a think about what is it that you need. And again, often we have to start with what's bothering you about that process. What's bothering you about that relationship, and then going from there. Again, with your accountant, if you don't have an amazing relationship with your tax accountant, then I highly, highly recommend you do this same process and you go back to them and you get on track, because your tax accountant can make or break your business. The amount of times in the last 6 months, particularly, that I've worked with clients who have had surprise tax bills that have then caused them to go on and we're talking tens of thousands of dollars, and in some cases over couple of hundred thousand in one instance as well. If you don't have that great relationship with your tax accountant and you don't plan for your tax, then you're going to get caught out, and that's going to cause you a whole load of grief, and that's going to set you back months, years, and we don't want that. So again, having to think about what is working, what's not working, and going back to your tax accountant and having a chat with them. Same as if you've got a business coach. Again, if you've been around long enough, you'll know I talk about building your financial team, and it's critical. And your financial team consists of your bookkeeper, your tax accountant, your business coach, and if you have a financial planner or a mortgage broker, anyone who is helping you achieve your financial goals is part of your financial team. So if you have a business coach and isn't quite working, think about what's not working, go back to them and give them the opportunity to get back on track with you and to recalibrate, because again, often it is just because we haven't communicated what we need, and the specialist will keep on doing what they're doing, and then you've gone off path a little bit and we need to come back again. So just to go over the 3 things that I would love you to do so you are not in this same situation next year as you are now. We want improvements in all areas of the business. So decide that you want it to be different. Decide that enough is enough. Today is the day. We're not going to be in this situation this time next year. We're going to be in a much, much better one. The second thing I want you to do is list all the what you don't want, and then go through and list all you do want. And don't worry about feeling like it might be a bit far-fetched, or it might be a bit out there, or I don't know how I'm going to achieve that. That's not the point of this step at the moment. This step is just to get it down on paper, what you don't want and what you do want. And the third thing is to think about the who. Who can help you achieve those goals on that list, and going back to your existing financial team and having to think about what's not quite working, what can be improved, and having a conversation with them and get that improved now. I see so often people, they come to us, particularly from a bookkeeping perspective, and they're like, oh, my existing bookkeeper is terrible. I just want to change. And I always recommend that they do this step first. Before coming on board with us, I ask them to write a list of what's not working and go back to their existing provider and see if that can be fixed. Now, in some cases it can, and in some cases it can't, and that's perfectly okay, and they come on board with us. But I just want to make sure that you're really clear on what you need from each of your financial team, because your financial team will absolutely make or break your business, and we just can't worry about it next year or worry about it next quarter, or we'll get to that. Your financial team and building your financial team needs to be your number one priority, because we will be your absolute cheerleaders. We will be your absolute support system, and we will absolutely help you build your permanently profitable business so that this time next year, you can look back and go, oh, wow, how far have I come? And what I want you to do is please do something. Don't just listen to this podcast and go, that's great. Yes, fabulous idea, Katie, and do nothing. I want you to sit down and do those lists. You don't have to take a lot of time to do it, 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes max, but have a think about it and take that first step. Write the list. If you want to share the list with me and be held accountable a little bit for that, then please send me a copy via email, katie@profitfirstfortradies.com.au, and in the subject line, put "Stop Doing List" and your business name, and I would love for you to share it with me.